They didn't happen to mention to you that there was a problem. They just keep putting her off on other people.
Right. We were in the middle of a court case when they moved her, so that the court case had to be that the action I took against her against Section 8 because she has the income that she's not declaring through child support. That's a violation of housing. I went to housing, and then they told me is that. Well, she's moved out now, so that investigation is over.
Yeah, but even though they let her, she's still in Section 8 housing, though, isn't she?
Yes, but she's not my tenant anymore, so that investigation's over.
Right.
Even if I have paperwork that proves that she has income, which is a violation of housing.
Well, we're going to meet you and do this story. I promised I would do it, and I'm going to do it. So,
no, he was telling me the other day, I guess the other previous landlord gave her a good recommendation to get her out of his place.
Yes.
Can he be held liable at all, Tom, for...
Now, how do you know he did that?
Well, because I called him when she wanted to move in.
You called and said, what about, okay, but did you call him back and ask him?
I did after I started having problems.
And what did he say?
I was just trying to get rid of her.
He said that?
Yes.
So here she is in Section 8, sucking off the system. And she just simply keeps going from one Section 8 to another. And Denver Housing, they won't even help. This is about Funky Cole Medina, right? We'll just call it Funky Sybil Medina. And this woman is bad news. And I can't believe that we're paying for her. We're paying for her. And she's renting out rooms.
Multiple rooms.
Multiple rooms. Wow.
The officer told me that came here when I tried to file a vandalism because of all the holes in the wall.
Yeah.
He told me he arrested 9 people at this residence.
9 people.
I took that to housing. Jerry Graber.
Who's the person at housing not listening to you?
Jerry Graber.
Jerry Graber.
Yes.
Mr. Jerry Graber. Where's his office?
He's over there on 7-something Grant.
Well, we're going to look into this. We've been looking into it. We still have our investigator on it. Jerry Graber. Here's for you and Funky Sybil Medina. Let's hear that song. That's a good one.
This brother told me a secret on how to get more.
She rips off every landlord she comes in contact with. She takes the money from the government, passes it to her illegal friends, gets $100 a room. Funky Sybil Medina. All right, let's go. Funky Sybil Medina. We got to edit that down to just the part that talks about Funky Sybil Medina. I love these people that just suck off the public trough and make money at it. And you tell Jerry Grable, you have proof. You tell Denver Housing, are you listening, you freaking fool morons? You give out public assistance to illegal people, and you know what you want to do? You want to keep giving it. And then you get an upstanding landlord citizen who works his ass off, and all he wants is a little help, and you laugh at him. That's what sanctuary will get you in this city. Sybil renting out to her illegal buddies, and you guys pay her rent. Denver Housing and Jerry Grable, he showed you proof of her auxiliary income. He showed you proof of illegal activity. He showed you proof of damage to his home. A string of landlords that have been strung out by this woman. And what do? Denver Housing, you keep her on the program and protect her. You protect her from due process. You fools, you morons, you scumbags. 303-713-TALK. Man, I need to take a break. It's upsetting me. We'll be right back. 303-713-TALK. Hello. How are you guys doing? Let's talk. We have so much going on today. We haven't stopped taking calls. Roger's got a comment on that police brutality tape. It's being released by the media. You can also see it at KHOW.com on Tom Martino page there. Go ahead, Roger. What's happening?
Yeah, Tom, as Carl Harvey would say, the rest of the story is that the new manager of safety found no wrongdoing or excessive force. However, independent monitor here in Denver found that there was a problem with their conduct. My question is, not that you don't already have enough on your plate, what happens from here?
That's the thing. What happens from here? I mean, when that guy's just standing on the sideline talking on a cell phone and that officer comes up and beats the hell out of him, there's no excuse for that. That was Officer Devin Sparks, I think his name was. I don't know. And how can their boss say there was no wrongdoing? How can he say that?
That's a good question. I mean, based on what we saw, I think here was an interview that they did on Channel 9. He said based on everything that was inclusive of the investigation, he didn't see anything wrong, but then here's the watchdog, the monitor saying, oh, yeah, wait a minute, yeah, this was not right.
Did you know they paid off those guys?
I think about $65,000.
Hardly anything. They each got like $18,000 or something, I thought. It was like, it just, I don't know. I don't understand. And you know what? I don't know where it goes from here, but that's a very good question, deserving an answer. And maybe, but I don't think it goes anywhere because the guy already said there was no wrongdoing. So we'll find out, though. Find out the latest, Mike. 303-713.
No, you say hardly anything. What's a beating worth? I mean, who puts that price tag on that?
Well, I think, though, it's not just the beating. It's it's to teach the officers a lesson. They should be fined or they should be removed from duty. What that one guy did was absolutely wrong. Absolutely. Did you see the video? Can you see any justification for that with a guy on a cell phone? Come on. Can you tell the truth?
No.
I mean, it would be different if he was walking over the officers, yelling at him or moving him out of the way or trying to get. How is he interfering? How do you walk up to him and tell him to get off the phone and then start beating the snot out of him? Hey, Michael, what's going on with you?
You also don't see, the first thing you see in this is the one guy on the ground. Now, was the guy on the cell phone with him before? I mean, was there more that transpired prior to the clip we're seeing?
He wasn't under arrest. That guy wasn't under arrest. He was standing there. Michael, what's happening?
Hey, Tom, I just got a brand-new 2010 U.S. passport in the mail that I'd sent off for, and I look at the back page, and it says this document contains sensitive electronics. Well, I understand from other conversations I've had with other people that means that there is an embedded RFID tag in my passport.
Right.
Well, my question is this. I know that there are scanners, like when you go into an airport, that they'll use to pull you up in a database quickly, but my concern is this. Are there other scanners, other places outside the U.S. that our federal government is using to track where we go, and if so, is that not a violation of our privacy?
Well, first of all, you said if, and then if. So if there's one, or then you asked if there is one, does it do this? Now, I don't know if there is, but I know that RFID scanners are not difficult to find, and they can scan almost any ID chip, and stores are starting to put them in. So when people walk in a door, they know what they have in their purse if they have ID chips on them, and food stuffs. I mean, a truck could literally scan a neighborhood and ride up and down the neighborhood and find out who has their products and do demographic research. The other thing is, does the government have scanners somewhere else? I don't know. I mean, that's very possible. And is it a violation? Well, what is a violation? They're not really, I don't know. That's hard to say, because if you did that individually, you could be accused of stalking.
Well, let me ask you this. There are things out on the internet now available, little jackets that you can put your passport into that will block the RFID signal so that no one, including the government, can get the little tag to respond when that little transponder signal is set out.
Right.
If I block my RFID tag in my own passport, am I somehow breaking a federal law?
Of course you're not. But you have to leave it available to take out of the jacket when they do want to scan.
Why not just kill it? I mean, all over the internet tells you can put it in a microwave, whacking it with a hammer a few times. They say it's the most suitable for getting rid of the RFID chip in a passport.
But what happens if it doesn't scan? When
it's broke. I don't know what happened to it. I didn't do it.
Does it say not to do that?
Well, it doesn't say not to do that, but what I'm wondering is if you mess with
when it says sensitive electronics, does it say do not subject to heat or cold or something?
No, it just says document contains sensitive electronics. But here's my concern. Let's say I did microwave and disable my RFID tag, and if the government found out about that, when I go to renew this thing in 10 years, are they likely to put me on a list of people that messed with their RFID tag?
Who knows?
And say, oh, sorry.
Hey, man, who knows? Now, here's an actual internet page on how to kill your RFID chip, okay? And it says that a few ways to do it. The easiest way to kill and to make sure it's dead is to put it in a microwave for 5 seconds. It will literally melt the chip and antenna and make it impossible to read. The second is to kill the RFID chip with a knife or other sharp object. But you would have to know right where it is, Mike. How can you stab?
I don't know where it is. And these things
Right.
are tiny because this little passport, it's incredibly thin, and you'd never know where the RFID tag was just by looking at it or holding it up to the light because it looks just like a normal passport.
So it's mostly
really
paper.
thin.
Just keep whacking the whole thing with a hammer.
Well, it says the third method is cutting the antenna very close to the chip. Well, Mike, can you see the RFID chip? I guess they're kind of talking as if you can see it.
No, I don't see it in mine, and I've been holding it up to the light, and it's fairly thick cardboard, but I don't see anything there that would jump out at me as like, oh, well, there's the chip, and I've been kind of pressing on it and stuff and feeling it, and I don't feel any like little bulges or anything that would jump out as me as like, oh, well, there it is. So it's pretty slim.
I do not. First of all, I'm looking here. How to block chips are indestructible. No. It says hold on. Yeah, because you can't find them. I'm looking at a photograph here, and I see what a chip looks like. But how the heck can you find it? They're assuming, Mike, you know where it is, so that's why the microwave's going to work because you don't have to know where it is. But you ask good questions. Look, this RFID technology is in everything right now. They're starting to use it in everything, in products and purses and jewelry. I mean, it's just...
See, Wired.com has a whole article on how to disable your passport's RFID chip, and, I mean, they're saying the best is the hammer.
But what do you hammer? The whole thing? I mean, what do you hammer?
They've got pictures, and you can find other things that actually show...
Where do you find a picture?
If you Google RFID chip U.S. passport, it'll bring up pictures showing exactly where it is. It's amazing what's on the Internet nowadays.
First of all, you notice none of these articles actually show the passport where the chip is in the passport. None of them. They just say to hammer it. It says it just says to grab a hammer.
They do say tampering with the U.S. passport is punishable by 25 years in prison. Not to mention the special custom search you may get when your RFID chip does not work as you're going through somewhere.
Wow. 303-713-TALK. I'd like to know, where it is. Nick, what's going... Oh, did Nick... no, there he is. Hi, Nick. What's happening? Hello, Nick.
Hi, Tom. Thanks for taking my call.
What's going on?
You and I met at Rockies with my wife, Sandy. I'm their motorcycle guy, remember?
Yeah, of course, Nick. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing okay. I hadn't heard back from you, and I thought I'd kind of...
You talked to me about an at-will contract. You were a distributor for a product.
I was an independent sales agent, correct.
Right. An independent sales agent, and your contract was terminated because they... What reason did they give you?
They said because I refused to give up my other lines, they were terminating.
They wanted you to be an exclusive.
That's correct. But they didn't require that of anyone else in the company.
And you thought, well, they engineered this to get rid of you for some reason. The question is, can you have an age discrimination case if you're not an employee? Like you're an independent contractor. So can they choose not to do business with you? And is it possible they thought you're getting old and wanted to get rid of you, so they used that as an excuse? Do you have proof that they did not or they do not require that of other salespeople?
Yeah, I tape recorded 4 conversations with 4 other sales reps, not only in the company, but just in my region.
All right, so Pete McGuire, what do you think of that? They tell him, now remember, he has a contract. He's a manufacturer's rep, for lack of a better. That's what he is.
Right.
And they're saying, look, you got to drop your other lines, but did not require it of anyone else. Now, that stinks.
Well, it does stink. But I wonder I think you'd have to take a look at the actual language in the contract for, termination. We'd have to find out
But what? I don't even think you do. First of all, do you operate with a contract, Nick, or was it basically just an informal thing?
No. I have a contract that's about 7 pages long, and it does say in there that, it is an at-will contract. However, I'm a 66-year-old Vietnam disabled veteran, and, they let me go, and they hire a woman that they knew from the other company they were with, and you know, they said the reason I was getting